You are a student that really does believe in the need to study hard, excel in exams, pass with flying colors, and make yourself, and hopefully your parents, proud. That's great. Really great. But one way or another, it doesn't exactly pan out. Because sure, you have the desire to be a good student, but coming out in flying colors requires being able to understand what you are studying and relay it down to the exams. But unfortunately for you, you're a person that can't even perfectly concentrate, not to speak of understanding or completely finishing your studying. The thing is, concentration is necessary, and you know that. But what do you do when all of your instincts are just telling you to think about that bad guy you took down in the game last night, or the fun moment that you plan to have with your friends in a few days? Thoughts are great, but not when they distract you. So, how do you help yourself eliminate the thoughts and concentrate more on your studies? Well, that's what we're about to find out. Welcome to Thrive in Authority, and in today's video, we will be walking through some science-proven tips that can help you concentrate more on your studies. Click that subscribe button, and let's go study. Tip number 1. Allow your mind to wander. Seems off the spectrum of normality and proper thinking. Well, you just might have to wait a little to see why this counterintuitive tip is a very important one for improving your concentration. What you know that is allowing your mind to wander for a little while is something psychologists have come to realize, having discovered that we spend close to 50% of our time daydreaming. Because of this research discovery, psychological scientists have come to conclude that the wandering of our mind is not so much a glitch, but a very important part of the human system, necessary to help the brain function properly. This means you should take a few minutes before you study to allow your mind to wander around. Just give yourself a few minutes to let those thoughts permeate. In fact, a psychologist from Harvard University has shown that only accidental wandering is bad for getting things done. By letting your mind off for a few minutes, you get to clear your head of thoughts and assume a mind state needed for concentrating on your studying. Tip number 2. Make it difficult to concentrate. Wait, why make it difficult when I can't concentrate in the first place? Well, there's a reason for this. From a normal sense, concentration requires the elimination of all distractions. But what if we told you the opposite itself is more effective? Yes, by clouding up the space with more distraction, you get to concentrate better. Here's why. According to a research made in 1995 by University College London psychologist Nearly Live, he came up with something he called the load theory, which confirms that when you limit the amount of external information the brain processes at a time, and once all the processing slots get filled, the attention of the brain gets stressed and decides on what exactly to focus on. This might be difficult to practice, as you have to also be careful about the distractions. When you want to study and you find it a bit difficult to concentrate, try going somewhere with a bit more distractions, but avoid them being overwhelming. This increased distraction may force your brain to pick one thing to focus on, and, in this case, your studies. Tip number 3. Boost your willpower. One of the important components of the body necessary for concentration is self-control. You need to be able to power your mind to be organized and aligned for studying. But how do you come about self-control? Well, if you've seen our video that details how to improve your self-control, then you will know that willpower is an essential thing that you need to work on. Irrespective of how committed you are to your studies, focusing and concentration on something difficult requires a level of willpower. And according to a recently conducted study, one of the good ways to improve your willpower is by having a good laugh. There are several things that you can do to have a good laugh. You can try having a playtime with friends or watch some funny videos on YouTube. Boosting your willpower will organize your mind, improve your discipline to learn, and help you cultivate a strong, focused power. Tip number 4. Quit studying and take a mental break. Of course, no one is telling you to stop studying and go off playing. This tip encapsulates the need to take breaks sometimes. The human mind is limited in several scopes, and one of these limitations is the alertness duration. When you try focusing your mind on something, it gets to a certain time period where you just begin to lose concentration. Not because you aren't trying hard to stay focused, but because that's how the mind is built. This means your mind needs to take a break, and according to several studies dating as far back as the 1990s, it has been shown that several natural variations of our alertness cycle causes us to only concentrate fully for 90 minutes, after which a break for about 15 minutes should be taken. By taking a few minutes off during your study, you will get to relax your brain, get your thoughts organized again, empower your body, and restore your mental alertness. Tip number 5. Take some time to train your brain. Ever heard of the app called Elevate, Luminosity, Mental Up, Peak, or Cognifit? Brain Fitness? Well, if you haven't, these apps are all brain training apps, and they're designed to challenge your memory and improve your mental fitness. They help push your brain towards its limits and are really good in concentration improvement. According to a 2017 study, it was discovered that the right brain training can improve not just memory, but also attention. The training of the brain causes specific changes in certain parts of the brain, and this allows your brain to become stronger at tackling difficult information. According to Healthline.com, brain training also helps in keeping your brain healthy while boosting your focus and concentration. Tip number 6. Try not to force the concentration. One of those things that we make the mistake of doing is trying to work ourselves very hard on trying to get something to work just the way we want it. When you force your brain to focus for a very long period of time, you end up affecting some other parts of the nervous system. Sometimes less is more, and studies conducted by Mike Esterman and Joe Diggity of the Boston Attention and Learning Lab in Massachusetts confirms this to be true of the brain. With more studies applying brain imaging, we've come to realize that stress is an enemy of the brain, and when you stress the brain too much, it might eventually break down. Instead of trying very hard to stay concentrated on your studies, try breaking them into a study session. By breaking the session, your brain works itself up over time to become strong enough to handle longer periods. Apparently, to improve your concentration on your studies requires you to implement counterintuitive methods. These are all science-backed and are surely very effective. So, have you gained something from this video? Well, then why not give it a thumbs up? Tap on the subscribe button, jingle the notifications bell, and check out some of our other helpful tips. See you in the next one.